Hey Cappies, welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot, and welcome to your April reading. I can't believe it's April already. April's a real game changer. We started to feel the effects in March, but those were just the circumstances. April brings the breaking points. It brings the big decisions. It brings the communication. Mercury finally moves out of Pisces, which I don't know about you, but it's absolutely draining me right now. I will tell you that I am a Capricorn rise, so I'm very well versed in your astrology specifically. And this reading sure does resonate in a lot of ways. There's a lot that Capricorns are working through, but in a lot of ways, we've already been through the worst. And I think now, reaching maybe rock bottom in some areas of our life, where things just can't simply go on the way that they have been going on, and something has to give. Now, Jupiter, Pluto, and Mars all meeting up in your first house creates this massive energy, this breaking point in you. What you were tolerating on a subconscious level, what you were tolerating up into the Saturn-Pluto conjunction is just no longer workable. And if there's been a level of resistance, of holding on to the old ways, doing things the old way, it just simply can't happen anymore. And this is when the divine really starts to step in, and it starts to rip away the safety nets. It starts to open you up and to what you're forced to look at, what you're forced to change. Now, I don't think the changes are all that scary. In fact, I think this is a gift in which you get to completely rewrite your story. But that's scary. I just got done with a reading for Virgos in which it was an exciting time that they began to really rely on their creativity and rely on their ability to see a blank canvas and create something beautiful. But this is a very different energy for Capricorn, because for Capricorn, this is a point in which we say, I can't do it alone, where we ask for help, where we admit that we're struggling. And this is the point when everything gets to change. It's really realizing that if you're forced to drop the ball, someone else is going to pick it up, and you're okay to take a break. Saturn moving into Aquarius in your second house, pointing out all of the ways in which maybe financial reasons or self-worth, our confidence levels, we're starting to see the holes. We're starting to see the weaknesses, because Saturn points out the weaknesses and then he shows you how to fill in the holes, how to rebuild those structures, how to rebuild your self-worth, your belief in yourself, your deservance of the things, and that you deserve things even if you aren't white-knuckling your way through it. When the weight of the world is on your shoulders, that maybe other people can step in and show you that they could take the reins and you can let go a little bit. Mercury spending so much time in your third house, making communication very hard, very tricky. The feeling like you need to be very protective, like everything's going to fall apart if you ask for help, if you acknowledge, if you say the words out loud. But that comes to a point in which you have to start to say the things. And Mercury moves into your fourth house. You have to say the things that are in your heart, that are in your soul. You have to have those conversations that kind of rock your world. You have to, there's an identity here in who you are, and there's an identity, the sun stepping into the 4th house as well with Mercury. What is home, Capricorn? What and who is your home? And what is home to you? Where do you feel safe? I'm like actually extremely emotional during this reading. It's all about where home is right now. And the North Node in your 7th house, you know, the nodes move backwards. So as the conjunctions and everything moves into the late degrees, but then they begin to move into into Aquarius in the early degrees. Uranus is in the early degrees. So we're shifting. You see, when we were in the later degrees, we were ending things, and now we're stepping into the new. And these energies are pure. So as the North Node moves into the 4 and the 3 and the 2 and the 1 of Cancer over the next month and a half, we're really being asked to step into the true identity of that 4th house. And that's your, 4th house is your home. Cancer rules your home, your emotional well-being. And the North Node is in your 7th house. It's in your connections to others. It's in your relationships. It's who you are with these other people and what you make of it. And Uranus and Venus in Taurus in your 5th house means there's a seeking for freedom. Venus is going to move actually into your 6th house, into Gemini, so that's going to be a really exciting new start, maybe meeting a lot of new people, maybe starting a new job. You know, I see some of this as being, there could be a loss of income. So just know that whatever seems impossible now, you're going to work your way through. It's going to be okay. And if you're losing things now, if you're losing job, if you're losing income, if you're running into financial issues, Saturn and Aquarius in your 2nd house, the universe just wants you to know you can ask for help. They're just teaching you now that you could rely on other people. There may have been a time, a long period of time for my Capricorns in which they had to protect themselves. Everything was about relying on themselves, being strong, and now the energy is shift into allowing yourself to lean on other people, allowing yourself to connect emotionally, not having to be so rigid, not having to be so cold. Yeah. So let's get started on these cards. Energies for the month of April. Oh my God. 4 of Wands, card of Truce, and the 10 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so here's the thing with this 10 of Cups in reverse. It's like Capricorn for a long time had a lot of things going on, and they were things that they really loved. But there was a lot of them. I don't know why I'm sorry, I know this is annoying. So there was a lot of things that you were pouring your emotions and your creativity into, things that you really loved, but it was draining you. 10 of Cups in reverse. It doesn't mean that you're in a situation that isn't the 10 of Cups. It just means that you're pouring your energy in all these different places. There's a lack of emotional focus. And the 4 of Swords tells me that you are realizing that. You are realizing that you need to start to prioritize in what brings you happiness and fulfillment. And you need to put yourself in those things first. If that means you are forced to take a rest, 4 of Swords, if you are forced to take a break from the giving, you may have to take a break from the doing all the things for all of the people. and refocus a little bit on replenishing yourself. Why? Well, because you're out of your element here. Card of Virgo, 9 of Pentacles in reverse. You could be having financial issues right now. There could just simply be an issue in which you don't see your self-worth at this time, and that's part of this journey, is starting to realize what you bring to the table, because you bring a lot of love, Capricorn. There's a lot of love here and a lot of nurturing on your part, but it may be too much. It may be bubbling to the surface now, because although there is love, you're not feeling like you have stability. You're really relying on your emotional self right now, because there's an instability in either your finances and how you see yourself. And the Queen of Swords in reverse tells me it's going to come to the surface, you know, as we start to step into Aries season and we start to vocalize our needs and our feelings. And if you come from a place where you're not stable in yourself, if you come from a place where you're not feeling like you deserve a commitment or that you're worth investing in, if you come with that energy, you're going to come at it aggressively and come off as almost desperate. And that's what you don't want right now. The universe wants you to come at it with your heart, with your emotions. And it's not a business transaction. And you have to be really careful in your thoughts about yourself at this time, because how you feel about yourself is exactly what you're going to bring in. Now, 9 of Pentacles and the 8 of Cups in reverse. Well, there's a whole lot of, I'm gonna do it, but it's not happening yet. I'm gonna make the move. I'm gonna make the change. I'm gonna walk away, but you're not. I'm gonna handle it, but I'm not. I'm gonna talk about my emotions, but you're not. You're still keeping them inside. You're not making the moves. You're not moving towards what it is that you really want, your journey, your path, your destiny, things that you know are right around the corner for you. And I feel like there's a level in my Capricorns that are getting afraid of the deserving. And it may have been your sign we talked about in March as well. There's a fear of success. There's a fear that what you're asking for you don't truly deserve. And that needs to be addressed at this time, because Aries season is manifestation season. And if you want to attract that great partner, that stable partner, that, you know, business partner or love relationship, you know, someone you could rely on, you want somebody who's going to be your best friend, somebody you could lean on emotionally and maybe even financially if things are falling apart for you. If you're searching for that stability, you have to come from a place where you know you deserve it. And I think there's a level of don't have enough to give to others at this time. And because you can't give to others at this time, you feel like you don't deserve anyone giving anything to you. That's what you're going to manifest. Oh, Spirit does not want you to go there at all. In fact, I feel like they're real aggravated. I feel like a stomping of the toes, like, come on, we've done this already. We've been here. Don't fall back on those old stories. Don't go back on that illusion that you got to do everything by yourself, that you got to handle everything, that you don't deserve the emotional fulfillment because you're busy with work and people depend on you. No more of that. They told you. And now you got to do it. You got to make the moves. You got to believe in yourself. Because if you don't believe in yourself, you're going to attract those same old stories. And we got to spend 40 years again on things that you're always doing and doing and giving and nobody's giving back. And they're sick of the cycle. You're sick of the cycle. Let's just let go. Get over the fear. Get over the fear that you're not enough, that you don't have enough to give. What you are giving is not equal. Maybe you're in a relationship where someone is in a much better financial place than you and you don't feel worthy. Well, get over it, because there's things that you're meant to do here. There's things that are meant to be built. And that just because this is you right now, just because you're not stable right now, doesn't mean you're not going to make your way to here. In fact, right now, in the 10 of Cups in reverse, you're figuring out all the things you need to get to the 10 of Cups. The fulfillment, the happiness, the dreams coming true. All of the stuff you've ever wanted right here. It's right here in front of you. And as soon as you stop juggling the illusion that you're not good enough, that maybe this other person doesn't feel like you're good enough, maybe there's a sense that they're going to reject you, but it's all in your mind. It's just all in your mind. And you could stay here as long as you want. That's the thing. The universe is really going to allow you to sit here for a long time. That's what this whole thing is about. We're forced to look at the things. We're forced to look at them right now. And the Queen of Swords is looking right at that Queen of Cups. And she's saying, what do you want? What do you really need? What do you really value? What do you really love? What do you want? What makes you feel safe? Capricorn, what is your home? What's home for you? North Node still in Cancer until the middle of May. This is all about finding home and knowing you deserve it. Knowing you deserve to feel safe and loved and cared for, and that others can give you that feeling. You don't have to do it yourself. Three of Pentacles, Knight of Swords. Comes out like this. So here's the thing. The second that you begin to talk, the second that you begin to lay the foundations, establish the roles, create the rules, create the boundaries, the plan, you start to put the plan together. When you start to cooperate with others and do the things that you need to do in order to grow a relationship, everything comes right at you so fast. This person respects you. This person wants to come with you. They want to build. They want to build those dreams together. And all it takes is communication. All it takes is the establishing of the foundations. What feels so scary to you is just an illusion, because one conversation, one establishing how you feel, Queen of Cups, establishing how you feel and what you want, what brings you home, what makes you feel at home. And when you ask for it, you're absolutely going to receive it. Even if it's not from that person that quickly falls away and the next person quickly comes in. And I know that's hard to believe right now. I know it is. But Jupiter and Pluto, and then Jupiter and Saturn, it says there's new beginnings and there's new foundations, and it's happening for all of us. And you get to choose what situation. You get to choose your story right now. You're picking your story, you're rewriting it. So what's it going to be about? Is it going to be about more work? Is it going to be about more responsibility? Saturn left your sign. You're free. You get your worth together, your self-worth, your money, your values together now. You're good. You're good. You're taken care of. You have the strength, and Saturn knows that. It's all it takes. It's all it takes. The willingness to build and cooperate with others. The simple things that you need, the conversations and the boundaries, and everything works out just fine. And just fine because you feel safe, because you feel like you're at home, because you're emotionally available. And you're emotionally fulfilled. And what happens when you're emotionally fulfilled is that new passion, new creative ideas come, new opportunities. And this is really all about tenth house, Cancer, and Sag in your 12th. I love these astrology cards because they give me ideas and timing. They talk to me about your houses and what's being triggered. And you get a real good feeling. Sag, 12th house, your subconscious, your fears. You're free from them now. Sag is free. It's higher learning now. It's moving up and beyond those fears in your 12th house and your subconscious. And by moving towards what makes you feel safe, by asking for that emotional fulfillment, by investing emotionally in others and knowing they're invested emotionally in you, in feeling like you're emotionally safe, your 10th house is ignited. 10th house, full moon in Libra. Once you get your emotional shit stable, it becomes outward in the world. Things change outwardly. New jobs, new careers, new opportunities come. Things that set you on your path and your destiny in this world, your legacy, the big, new, long-lasting, long-building things, the things that Capricorn has been asking you to build, the things that Saturn and Pluto cleared the way for start happening. Bottom of the deck, I don't always pull it, I was urged to look at it. Art, Temperance. You're in the creating phase, the balancing, taking the break from pouring yourself out in so many directions, refocusing that emotional energy onto yourself, working on your individual stability and allowing yourself to ask for help from others, to rely on others, to allow others to love you. Capricorn, you have to allow others to love you. Pulled two energies for you because I felt I pulled the first card and it just seems like the energy you were coming into the month with. And I felt like there was a bigger story there. So I pulled a second card, and I think that really represents the energy that you're walking away with at the end of the month. Now, I don't like to predict outcomes because there's always free will, and there's the energy of other people and their chart and their astrology and their karmic lessons going on. I don't like to predict outcomes. I like to predict what the energy is teaching you. And the energy that you're coming into in the month is going to be a lot different than what you walk away from this month. Like I said, it's a game changer in who you are. And so I think you walk in as a starfish energy. Beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. Yeah. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put aside to please others? Now, I don't think this is about appearances. I think this is much deeper than that. I think it's about what others expect from you, that feeling of being responsible for everyone else's survival and their ability to thrive. You know, you may be hyper-focused on work because you have 20 employees that are relying on you to deliver every day, and you feel that weight all the time, and you realize that you're so tied up in the survival and the thriving of others that you've forgotten your own dreams. When in balance, you can be uplifting, artistic, and expressive. The new ideas flow, the new passion, right? But when out of balance, you gossip and feel empty. I mean, it doesn't get much more empty than that, right? To bring into balance positive friends and I think connections, relying on others like I talked about. There needs to be a deepening of the emotional bonds that you have with the special people in your life. And when that occurs, you become the horse. I've been feeling like a horse lately because I do nothing but eat. Working from home, right next to my kitchen, next to the bag of chips my kids left on the counter, so I just reached in and grabbed a bite. It's just absolutely killing me. Okay, enough about me. The horse energy, momentum, freedom, expansive energy, and force. Oh my God. I really just love it when the cards they just flow so perfectly. The horse represents the most masterful form of earth energy within the deck. It provides us with momentum, so reliable, so supportive, that you could ride on its back toward any goal, no matter how difficult the terrain. A horse personality is fully awakened, fully alive, and cannot be defeated. The horse's freedom becomes available to us when we hone and collect our energy through daily practice. Physical stamina, exercise, mental focus are the secret weapons behind the horse's legacy. When in balance, achieves anything, never gives up. When out of balance, runs away and feels weak. To bring into balance, strength training. Okay, well, funny that I just said that about like eating and the need to maybe work out. I don't even know if I said that out loud. That might have just been in my head. But I think this is really much more that part where it's said about, you know, the ability to ride on someone's back. The ability to know that people got you too, Capricorn. People have your back too. You could have their back. They could have yours. You could work together. It doesn't have to be like this. You deserve more. And the only one who doesn't see that is you. Break the chain, Cap. Break the chain. Ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. Dropping the burdens. Man, I see 10 of Wands all over this, even though they didn't come out. In my mind, everywhere, 10 of Wands. Letting go of the burdens, the breaking point. When you become as important to yourself as everything else is. It's a pretty cool reading, Capricorn. I have been so anxious and excited to see how this energy was going to play out for you. It's going to continue for the rest of the year, so it's not like May everything's better. Oh no, May is a whole nother set of issues and fun, you know. 6th house stuff for you. The North Node moves into Gemini. Venus moves into Gemini. But bam, Venus goes retrograde and she sits there in your 6th house of daily routines. And she really brings down the force of allowing creativity into your daily routines, allowing it to become an everyday part of you. Sounds like fun, but may not be so easy as you think. We'll see how that goes. All right, as for this, Capricorn, the most important thing is knowing that you deserve, and you deserve to be loved. Allow it. It's your final lesson. I really think this is the final it. This is like that final hump that you work through before all the things start to flow in and happen for you. You're opening doors right now. Open the right doors. All right. Have a great April. I'll see you soon. Bye.